we just felt this loyalty to hang out with certain people. Then we found out that they didn't live their life the way a martial artist should. We had to break our ties with them because people will associate you with the people around you. Birds of a feather flock together. So make sure that you do network with those that have the same kind of standards that you have. That's really important. Okay. Next one. How do you become visible? Well, first is social marketing. That's what I'm talking about, networking. Publicizing your commitment to the community, making sure everybody knows you're there. You're making sure that you sit on a board, making sure that, you're helping with a food drive. You're doing when there's a walk for breast cancer, your whole school is getting behind it and doing it. It's real important that people constantly see you there. If something's happened bad in the neighborhood, you and your whole school is down there painting that house or raising funds to help that family. Whatever it is you need to do, make sure that you're visible. And then after you finally have figured out who your persona is and you figured out what you do and what you don't do, and what you don't do you can refer to other people, really jump into that social media marketing and be faithful to it. Sensei Nick totally has a corner market on this, and if you have any questions, make sure you do talk to him because he can help you like he's helped me take what your persona is and how you present your unique selling point, and that can be all over your social media. How do you build a community within a community? This is really big. Parent recognition. I'm constantly talking to my parents and letting them know what great parents they are. We bow to our parents and say thank you. When I find out what a parent does for a living, I will always refer them to everybody and tell them that they have to go, because black belts don't leave black belts behind, and this is a black belt parent. You need to go and use them as the plumber or the dentist or whatever. And so parents feel very loyal to you when you do that. And student recognition is huge. Guys, these are your students. This is your legacy that you're putting out there. So make sure that you sign your students up for Youth of the Year. Make sure your students know where the scholarships are. Make sure your student gets recognized for being a state champion. Make sure you go out of your way to show your students how proud of them that you are and that you'll take that extra mile. Make sure if you have a child that is doing their very first dance recital, and you can take the evening off and let somebody else teach, go to their dance recital. And, just cheer them on for no other reason other than, you're their sensei and you're very proud of them. That just speaks volumes, guys. That they'll bring all their friends to the school. How do you get other businesses to market for you? Those are the 10 basic rules I gave you. If you guys want a copy of those too, I'll be happy to send those with the other 10. But the triangle of edification is huge. You make a big difference if you just spend the time edifying other people, because trust me, they will edify you. And it's really important that you absolutely never, ever, ever, ever get busted saying something bad about somebody else, about bad-mouthing somebody else or whatever, because it will come back to you, and you completely lose your credibility. So if you do have a frustrating moment or you're frustrated with somebody, just tell your husband or tell your wife. Don't tell anybody else, because you want to make sure that you're always positive and you're always credible and you're always integrity-driven. All those words that we used in the beginning of what a black belt was, make sure that you always stay that way. And all your businesses will make sure that they want to support you and tell people about how great you are. And finally, how do you become a difference makers? Guys, we are, as black belts, the very last line of defense right now. And people are looking to us to see how they're supposed to behave and how they're supposed to act. There was a current study done that we are now in our 5th generation of welfare recipients. There is a lot of people out there that absolutely don't know what the general society, the norms of society are. It's our responsibility to be that role model. It's our responsibility to make role models. We are difference makers, and we have to remember every morning when we wake up that we make a difference, and that we have to set out purposely that day to find a person and to make a difference. I tell my children every day when they go to school to learn something and be nice to somebody. Maybe we need to do that too as black belts. And in conclusion, ChampionsWay is here to help you be successful. I am a living, breathing example of that. My husband and I had thought about closing our school because we were just so frustrated, and ChampionsWay was just completely there for us. They did everything that they could do to help us. They encouraged us. Sensei Nick was very very focused on helping me understand that me is good enough. You know, I have a great enthusiasm for the community, and that's fine. Just because all the other karate schools around me aren't as involved in the community doesn't mean that what I offer isn't just as important. I just need to feel good about it. I need to feel confident that what I'm offering is important, and I need to tell everybody else why what I'm offering is important. And once I started doing that, I doubled my student base. I have people coming out of the woodwork now to ask me to work with them or to do things with them. Yesterday, my husband and I were doing a community service project at one of the community centers because one of their instructors didn't show up for something, so we just took the class on for the week. And one of the directors there let me know that this beautiful site is coming up for available for me to be able to go in and rent the place as a non-for-profit, open up a non-profit, and bringing all the martial arts communities together so that we can help the community even more. It was wonderful, but people will come to you with opportunities as soon as they find out that you're not only trustworthy, but you're sincere. If you know your account rep, get to know them really well, ask the real questions, don't be afraid. I have asked them questions that I now kind of scratch my head and wonder why I asked them, but they will always give you the real answers and they'll help you. And finally, I am done. Does anyone have any questions for me? You're welcome, Ed.
Guys, just type your questions into the chat box and I'll put them in the note section down there.
All right, well, let me answer some of these first. I'm going to go up here and where do I send the email? Okay, to get the recordings. That's Tatis. Ask Tatis about that. Jason. Hey, Mr. Morgan. How are you, sir? Glad to see you. All right. My email is the letter N, the number 2, TKD, like Taekwondo, at hotmail.com. Thank you, Tatis. All right, and then hold on, I'm trying to look at the rest of these. Okay, the repeat the 9 rules so I could write them down. Which one? I gave you 10. I gave you 10 for, let me go back through my notes. I gave you 10 for brainstorming your networking connections, and then I gave you 10 for the basic rules of creating the triangle of edification. Which one did you want? All of them. Okay, you know what, Fallon? If you email me, unless everybody else wants them too, if you email me, I can email them back to you. Okay. What's the next question? Yes, actually, I'm very, very blessed. My husband is the chief instructor. He's a 5th degree, and so he's my little workhorse. He does everything at the school, so I have an opportunity to really network a lot. I spend a lot of time networking. If you're talking about networking with me personally, I'm happy to do that too. Just email me, or you can text me. Email me, and I'll give you my text. What other social media outlets do I use? I use Twitter. I use Yelp, I use Cosworld, and then whatever Sensei Nick tells me to do. I have instructors that teach, but I do jump on the floor. I mostly teach private lessons, and I teach out in the community. My husband and I have gotten up to 17 after-school programs. We teach Tiny Tigers, we teach in the